Hear ye, welcome to In the Car with Bark. Welcome to In the Car with Bark. It's where I drive and talk on the mic. It's where I drive and talk on the mic. That's my intro music. You're welcome for that. Using a new microphone today. Saramonic sent me over a nice little beefy, tanky handheld microphone. And haven't even listened to it yet. I'll just record this whole episode with it and roll. We're going to start off hot. I've already talked about this a little bit, but I gotta talk about it some more. I was in a restaurant yesterday with my boys, and some fella walks out of the bathroom, and I think he works at the restaurant or owns the restaurant, something like that. And there was a couple of older women sitting, the grandmothers, not super old, just, probably, I don't know, 55 to 60. And they were enjoying their nice meal. And this guy basically walked up and just started talking to them. And then all of a sudden he's like, I don't know how religious you folks are. And of course one of the women's like, oh, I am very religious. Like in a southern drawl, even though we're in Ohio. I am very religious. Sound like Blanche Devereaux from the Golden Girls. I'm very religious, but I love to have my man. I digress. She just sounded like that. And it was like loud enough for everyone to hear. She wanted to let everyone know that she was ready for this conversation. They were digging it. They were ready to frickin' get out their Tucker Carlson pens and go to war. So this guy, he just goes on and on about this administration, and then he says we're becoming an anti-Christian country. I was like, oh my Lord, here we go. This is what happens when you watch Fox News. This is what happens when you're 60 years old, 55 years old, and your news is Facebook. This is what happens when you're gullible. And then say what you will. I mean, I get his point a very small bit. But my counter to his point of becoming an anti-Christian nation, I guess the wording is the problem, because I do believe that less and less people are participating in organized religion. I believe that teenagers and young adults, they want nothing to do with that. Now the problem there is not these young folks' issues with a deity, a God, a Jesus. It's not that. It's not like this new generation and the last generation, it's not like they want to be, Satanists or evil and that doesn't equate. You shouldn't have to be a member of a religion to not be a terrible person. But you have to look at how we're growing up today, and more, it's more acceptable to be different. Finally. Not all the way, because we're still a very hateful country. But if you've got churches that say you can't be this way and you can't be that way, even though you're not hurting anybody, that's going to drive young folks out. That's just what that is. Like the last two generations, Z and millennials, I think, are more stubborn and more open-minded and more free-willed, and that's not anti-Christian at all. That's simply being their own individual self and not falling into a box in which they pass around a collection plate. So the spin, I get the anti-Christian. Like, if you want to consider organized religion to be Christianity, which I do not, it's faith. Your faith is either in Christ or it's in something else. The labels, man. It's always about the labels. But almost lost the package. Yeah, it's just nobody is any less, believing, in my opinion, because throughout with social media, now we know everybody's opinion. So all those people in the 80s and 90s who didn't believe in anything or participate in anything or have any kind of faith, we didn't know about them. Like, we didn't know about that because there was no social media to plaster it on. So now we've got this forum where we get everyone's opinion. That's where 60-year-old restaurant dude, was Fox News and people that are talking badly about Fox News and Republicans. Like, that's all it boils down to. It boils down to, if you are not a conservative, you must be anti-Christian. You just must. You can't be a liberal-leaning person and have faith. That's just what they've determined. They have determined, they as in conservatives and organized religion goers, have determined that if you are liberal at all, you must be anti-Christian. You must be. There's no other option, because there's no way you could support people's happiness in being gay or trans or whatever else they think is wrong. If you support that, you just cannot be Christian. It's not possible. And that's the problem. That is the problem. You've got two new generations that want to accept everyone, including organized religion goers. But then you've got the organized religion and conservative box that want nothing more than everyone to be the same. And that is, so when I hear this shit, which I hear often because of where I live, everyone, if I had $1 for every time I heard someone say, this administration, this president, we're all going to hell, I would not work a job. That's not true. I haven't heard it that many times, but it's so silly. It is so silly. It's so clear to me, being kind of neutral. I consider myself neutral because I grew up in the whole, best of times, as the conservatives say. So I get that this is different for them. I get that they're having a hard time accepting all these changes and that they want to deem everything that's not the way it was as anti-Christian. But at the same time, the other side, the liberal-leaning side, makes so much more sense to me because kindness, acceptance. I don't understand. You know what? I do understand. It's greed and it's money. Because organized religion is a business. It is absolutely a business. Most hateful people I've ever known go to church. It's a business. It's a business much like a coffee shop where you walk in, you put your money in this nice golden plate, or silver, sometimes golden, you false idol fuckers, and you feel like you're paying for salvation. You're paying for the label of saved. Oh, I'm saved. I gave half my paycheck to the church. I'm saved. Sure you are, buddy. Come on. Like, logic. Basic fucking logic should tell you you can't go to a building, listen to a preacher, pay a little bit of money, and walk out. Slaughter someone, rape someone, kill someone, be downright awful to someone. Like, you going to that building did not absolve you of being a dick. It did not absolve you of being a terrible person. I could walk into a church that I know of around here right now and point out 75% of the congregation and point out the hypocrisies that they have performed in the name of God. In the name of God! I am a faithful person. I'm not being blasphemous. I'm being real. And human beings are fucking stupid when it comes to religion. Absolutely fucking stupid. A building and some money is not going to absolve your ass of hell. How about that? How about that? How about that? Cash me outside. How about that? I just think it's silliness. It's absolute ridiculousness. Everyone's got the answers. I talk like I know what I'm talking about. This is just my logical brain thinking. Who knows? Maybe when I pass away, I'll be judged, and I'm a man of, I do have faith, so just keep that in mind when I say what I say. But when I pass away, if I meet God, Jesus, whoever, one of the two, both of the two, maybe they're combined. I don't know. Maybe God's not a visible thing. Let's just say when I hang out with Jay, he might say you didn't go to any of my buildings that accept money to absolve you of your sins. He might say that. Like, hey, you didn't put a little something in the collection plate, brother. See you later. Never know. I mean, maybe there is something to it. I doubt it. It doesn't make sense to me. But who knows? Maybe there's a chance that human greed and power trickled down straight from the top. I don't believe that, but I'm admitting the fact that I'm not pretending like I know for sure all the answers. But I know that what makes the most sense to me is to be very accepting of everyone. Doesn't matter what they're into, as long as it's not physically or mentally hurting anyone. And then you got that argument. They're mentally changing our kids to gays. No, they're not. Like, I will admit that they're, I've seen it for myself that some young teenagers and adults think it's cool to try to be what they're not. But that's always been the situation throughout the strains of time. Everyone's always trying to be cool. So if gay is cool to some people and they try to be gay because it's cool, they're still not hurting anyone. Like, they're still not doing, I mean, they're hurting themselves a little bit and not accepting who you are, but that's all of us. None of us accept or figure out who we are until later in life, and they'll figure that out. But I mean, what if you did mess around with someone of the same sex and it opened your eyes? So the fuck what? God, I hear that so much. They're making it okay to be gay. Why isn't it okay in the first place? I don't fucking understand. I don't get it. Let people be happy. Let people live. I'll do it in preacher mode. Let people be happy. Let them live the life they want to live. Let them do what they want to do as long as they're not hurting anybody. Tell me that's real and it's going to get you to heaven. Adding the I've already done this shtick. I just can't help it. It's like up there with the top handful of things that I feel very strongly about that are absolutely fucking ridiculous. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. So, second half of this thing, I'm going to take a drink of I've got 2 teas here, half teas from yesterday. Oh no, one's almost gone. This Tazo tea? Tazo? Not too bad. I'm not going to do a review or anything like that. Ah, that's tasty. That's the peach. That's the peach tea, my brothers and sisters. Anyways, I went live last night. Just want to talk about this because it's fun. If you stumble upon this podcast or video channel, listen to me, channel 3, 10, 13, 8. If you stumble upon this and you wonder who the fuck is this guy, so I hate the term YouTuber, but I am attempting to be said YouTuber, and I have a channel called Obscure Mics. It's doing pretty well, better than I ever would have imagined it doing, and that led to, of course, me making social media accounts for it, and this, that, and the other. And so through that channel and through Twitter, I made acquaintances with quite a few people. Like, that's something really cool that's brought value to my life, is the creator circle. Folks who are making content. That was a weird way to say that. Folks who are making content. Dry eyes. Make your eyes. I don't know what the rest of that is. Ben Stein. I think he's one of those fucking crazy wackos. Anyways, I do the YouTube shit. And I met a guy named Gil Dormius. And he lives in Florida. And, just Twitter connection. You comment, you follow, you do that thing, and then you feel like, you've met somebody, sort of. Well, I like to follow through on those things. I like to actually meet people. So, like my dude Bronson from Audio Hotline. We both do audio gear, mic review channels. I feel like we're legit friends from that, because we do a podcast together. We go video to video, so technically we talk face to face. And, may sound sad, but he's like one of my best friends at this point. Bronson is. And so last night, there was this announcement that you could go live together on YouTube, which is basically, as Gil informed me, like Instagram. Like, you can do the 2 live together Instagram things. So me and Gil, we did this live together just to test it. We were just curious, because we both do the YouTube stuff. He's more video, I'm more audio, but he's audio too. Very intelligent man. But we went live together, and that was a good time. Like, just making that human connection, meeting someone from a different walk of life, and just kind of hanging out. Talked a little bit about music and, video, some cameras, some of our favorite YouTubers, all that stuff. And it was a good time. I really enjoyed it. Like, that human connection really does bring an element of happiness to my life. And Gil was very easy to talk to. It was just really cool. So if you want to hear a conversation between what is basically 2 strangers, go to Obscure Mics. Check that out. We went live last night for about an hour and 10 minutes, something like that. It was a good conversation. I enjoyed it. And go check out Gil's stuff if you like video. He records video podcasts. He does a lot of things. He's got some clients. He's worked with Rick Ross. He's he's a very, very cool guy. I was very glad to actually face-to-face chat with him. So I plan on doing that more. Creator Connection, which I think is not an original name for a live stream, but it's okay. And here, see, and this is what's cool. So we're oh god, the semi's getting close. Anyways, so we were talking about like some of our favorite things, favorite music, favorite this, favorite that. He asked me what my favorite song was. Actually asked me what my favorite rock song was. And I think it's interesting that he just started listening to music 15 years ago, and he's 33, because he wasn't exposed to it. Religion. There we go again. But he asked me what my favorite rock song was. And that's a really hard one to nail down. Like, I like a lot of music. So I just came up with kind of a generic answer. As, my favorite pure rock band is the Foo Fighters, so anything by them. He literally said that his favorite song was Everlong. And I was like, after I said the Foo Fighters? Like, your actual favorite rock song is Everlong? That's cool. Like, that's, I felt that little pick of destiny, as some band you could guess would say, the pick of destiny. And I was like, this is awesome. I'm talking, feel like we were meant to have a chat tonight. He's like, that or Black by Pearl Jam, which is my wife's favorite fucking song of all time. What? Come on, Gil. That was sweet. That was cool. Just those little things, What's the chances? What is the chances? And then he mentioned Queen. I love Queen. Just human connection is awesome. And, Gil doesn't fall under anything I was talking about earlier, except with me, the religion thing. I think, he got sucked into the organized religion he called it a cult. I agree. So we had that in common, but that's, and music and stuff, but just hanging out with someone that was just should have been different because we live in different areas of the world. What's the chances he was going to like the same exact, like my favorite song is his favorite song, kind of. I didn't say Everlong, I said Foo Fighters. And he mentioned Black as his close second and my wife's favorite song. Like, what are the chances? He could have been like American Badass by Kid Rock. And I'd have been like, oh, shit, Gil, I gotta go, man. I forgot that I had something in the oven. I wouldn't have done that. That's a joke. That's a slam on Kid Rock. Because he is American Badass. He's fucking went off his rocker as well. That guy's fucking annoying as shit. Bob, whatever your last name is. Which I read even Pamela Anderson, she said that was like an instant mistake. Like, you would think someone married to Tommy Lee would say Tommy Lee was their biggest regret, but no, he's the one she still wants to be with. Pamela Anderson's instant regret was Kid Rock. Like, okay, that makes sense. Totally makes sense. Like, I guess he was a jealous fool. Shocking. I thought he was an American Badass. I am. There are a few songs that do stick to the brain like peanut butter, but American Badass might be one of them. I don't like it. I'm just saying, you hear it, and it's the pacing of the words. I am American Badass. Stupid lyrics. Stupid everything. But the pacing of the words just kind of, it's almost like Queen's We Will Rock You. The pacing. The beat. Kid Rock created a beat with his words. I am American Badass. Yeah. Tangent. Not sure why I went there. I'd like to push this to almost 30 minutes, but maybe we don't have to. Maybe we don't need to. I'm almost to work. But I legit, if I don't take enough notes, I run out of shit to talk about. I just do. Here, I'll point you in the direction of something fun. The channel name on YouTube is React. But I watched the greatest video about teens listening to... hiccup. Teenagers hearing Limp Bizkit, like, for the first time in their eyes. Of course, some of them knew, like, oh, I know this song. But, the first time them recognizing, oh, this is a band called Limp Bizkit. So, best video ever. Go look up and check out teens. Just Google or YouTube search teens Limp Bizkit. It'll pop up. It's from the channel React. Fucking cracked me up. Like, the girl that ended up loving Limp Bizkit, she will crack you up. Ray of fucking Sunshine. I don't remember her name, I'm sorry. I'll find out later, because like, this channel uses the same teenagers for a lot of stuff. They did a teens listen to Weezer video too that I watched and was highly enjoyable. There's something about those reaction channels, man. Seeing other people connect with the same things that you connect with warms the heart. Absolutely warms the heart. Alright, we're long enough here. This will give me time to break down the setup, which isn't too hard, before I walk into work, which has been okay lately. It's been a little less stressful. Got a raise, that probably helped the stress levels. Oh god, I got a kid-free night tonight, which is good, because I was up half the night with my 6-year-old. I'm very sleepy. Very, very sleepy. Thank you guys, though, for joining me. Of course, it's raining when I'm sleepy. That helps a lot. It's very helpful. Thanks, rain. Anti-Christian country. That's why it's raining.